everything. We'll let those guys tweet out the links because that is our job. So we're live. Thank you to the people on Twitch for joining us live, talking about the Oscars or whatever that was.
Whatever that was.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the One Take Podcast, Oscars reaction show. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, thank you for joining us on Twitch. Thank you for joining us, all 5 of you on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Go follow us at One Take Podcast on YouTube. That would be really great. But on Apollo HOU Twitch also. We're here to talk about Mortal Kombat, right? Nothing else? Nothing else happened tonight?
Oscar-winning film.
We cannot talk about Mortal Kombat. I have not seen it yet. I don't see it till Tuesday.
But on top of that, nothing weird just happened. Nothing weird at all happened with these Oscars, right? I mean, fuck. Like, that was what?
Why did they do that, bro? Why?
Okay,
because there's always has to be a controversy. The Oscars will always do one thing to fuck up everything, and they waited to do it last this time.
Well, they've waited to do it last like a couple of times now, but here's the thing. So if you haven't watched the Oscars, or if you just don't, a lot of people will say, oh, we don't care about the Oscars. It's just not true. It's the most watched thing other than the Super Bowl.
I love the Oscars.
Yeah, we all love the Oscars here, folks. This is a movie podcast. What do you think? What do you think we're getting? But the thing that happened with the Oscars, so the format was completely different this year. It felt, we can talk about the format here in a little bit, but it was more low key. There were less people in attendance because of the whole panorama and everything else. But they switched normally it goes they do best actor, they do best director, best actor, best actress, best picture. This year they did best director really early on. They did best picture towards the end before they did best actress and best actor. And we all put on Twitter, and it was the consensus that, oh, this means that Chadwick Boseman has won the Oscar, and we're going to try and have a nice send-off here.
Yeah,
that's what we all thought.
Close the show on a Chadwick Boseman tribute because
all 3 of us picked Chadwick to win that award, didn't we? Chadwick.
I picked Riz Ahmed.
But got it.
Me and Teach both picked Chadwick Boseman, and I think that was kind of
and we all got it wrong.
Yeah, that was kind of the conventional wisdom coming in. Like, they'll give him the award because, like, the performance is fucking fantastic. He killed that movie, and he was the best part of it. And it's a great movie. They got honored a bunch of different other ways in the Academy tonight, but like, the dude died earlier last year, and like, he just had such an amazing impact, like, on all of us, obviously, on Hollywood and film, and just a Black history icon at this point, honestly, like, playing other Black history icons, playing Black Panther, like, all of that, and then giving this amazing ass performance in his final role that came out posthumously. And they gave it to Anthony Hopkins. Like, Anthony Hopkins was great. Like, don't get me wrong. The Father is great. Anthony Hopkins was great. I watched it this morning.
Performance in The Father is really great. But is it in your top 5 Anthony Hopkins performances? Because it's not mine. So
is it worth switching the order?
Really? I don't know, man.
No, well, here's the thing is I'm not going to say that Chadwick didn't deserve it. Or Viola Davis didn't. I haven't, just because of life and everything else. I didn't even watch Mank. So sorry to those.
You don't need to watch Mank.
Yeah,
fuck Mank.
Yeah. So sorry to those of you who like rely on us for movie opinions. I watched I watched every single one. So I couldn't get to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's like sometimes watching this many movies is work, even though it's on Netflix and stuff. So I just didn't get to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So I will watch it, and I'm sure it was from every review that I've read to anything else, he was stellar. That's the thing though with Hopkins is I'm not mad at the Hopkins pick, but why just don't do that? You know what I mean? Like,
don't bait us by switching the order.
He's the oldest ever Oscar-winning actor.
I thought the performance was outstanding. I thought the filmmaking in that movie and the way that he was able to go along with the father and the way he portrayed dementia was scary and haunting and brilliant. And I think it's one of his best performances to date. People might argue with me, but I mean, TG don't think so, but I just think it was incredible.
I like the performance. I thought the performance was really moving. Like, I'm not hating on the performance, but I'm just hating, like, if you choose to honor Anthony Hopkins, if we just looked at his whole career, this probably wouldn't be in my top 3 films that I'd be like, oh my God, I think we have to honor Anthony Hopkins because he made this. He's been acting for a million years. He's been in some iconic roles. So that's not, I don't think that I said that to slight the performance at all, because he's been in a lot of fucking movies. I thought it was a great performance. Did I think he should have got the award tonight? No, I don't think so. But like, it's not like, so I was in a Clubhouse room just now and somebody compared this to when Green Book won Best Picture. And I was like, I wouldn't quite go that far. I would not go that far because one, Green Book is like a mediocre film. And it was probably the 7th or 8th best movie on the list, even if we didn't talk about the controversy first. Anthony Hopkins' performance is perfectly fine. You're not going to look back in 30 years and watch The Father and be like, oh my God,
why did he win?
Like, yeah, you're not gonna think that when you watch the movie because it's a really good performance. It's a pretty good movie. Like, it's a great performance. You're not just gonna look back like, holy shit, this isn't like when Crash won Best Picture. Like, you go back and watch Crash now, you'd be like, how the fuck did they ever award this film? You're not gonna think that when you watch The Father in 20 years or when people can actually watch it, because I think you should have to pay for it. So nobody's ever seen The Father except for the 3 of us because we're nerds. But no one's seen The Father yet. So I can understand the outrage because we all wanted Chadwick to win. I think some people, I think the outrage will remain there because we wanted that moment for Chadwick. But I think as more people watch The Father, they'll at least see that the performance is really good. Like, it's not like they just gave it to anybody. Like, the performance is really moving. It's a very challenging role to play. I just think that he did a great job in the role. It's not who I would have awarded with the award, but it's a great performance. And so I don't think we can start making comparisons to when they just completely missed the mark, because I thought the performance was pretty good.
It's like they didn't miss the mark, but they missed the mark with how they did the show. It's like the producers of the show knew exactly what they were doing and they fucked it up so bad because they're like, he's the betting favorite. He has the posthumous thing not going for him. That's a terrible way of putting that. But like, he has the posthumous backing, kind of like when everyone knew that Heath Ledger was going to win. You know what I mean? So they had that sort of momentum for his performance. And so the producers wanted so badly for that to happen. The only thing they didn't take into account is that it wasn't Oscar voters.
Like, you have to try to hide that. Like, if you know, at the point where you know the dude who everybody thinks is going to win this award, who happens to have died this year,
and is black.
The second we know he's not winning this award and he's black, we literally have to do our best to de-emphasize this award. But instead, they put it last so that we would all continue to watch. And now that's the only thing that people will remember from this broadcast, which is it's a bad decision. It's just like a bad producing. Like, maybe they didn't know who was going to win the award, but to the extent that they did, you have to try to mitigate the backlash. Don't let that be the lasting moment of what I thought was a pretty good Oscars. Like, don't let that be the memorable moment of that.
I thought this was a great Oscars. Like, this was the most fun I've had watching the broadcast in a long time. But yeah, where I make the Green Book comparison is that's what I remember from that Oscars night, like actually watching it. It's the last thing that happened. It went out on a whimper. We were all like, what the fuck? Green Book? What? And like you said, like, Anthony Hopkins definitely like is deserving of the award. He gave a great performance. Like, it's not like they gave it to some bullshit. Like, they didn't give it to Crash or whatever. But like, making that the lasting moment of the Oscar, where we're all just like, we end the show. An amazing show. We just saw Glenn Close shake her ass on national television in front of Daniel Kaluuya. Like, that was amazing. But to end the show, we're all just like, yo, what the fuck? Why would the Oscars do that to us? And they didn't need to do that to us. Anthony Hopkins didn't give a speech. There was no like.
Spencer Hall tweeted. that Anthony Hopkins has been in his bed asleep in Malibu for 2 hours.
Yeah, he wasn't there to accept the award. Meanwhile, Chadwick's widow was at the award show still. That's just bad. That's just all bad all around.
And you know that, like, okay, like you said, Dex, it just ended. Like they went to Questlove, he was like, peace. And it was just he was done. And that's kind of what's bad about it too, is because the second betting favorite is Anthony Hopkins. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like, all right, we have Chadwick, who we would, reward this to, and his widow, or I said Denzel may get up and speak, which would have been incredible.
Man, that would have been awesome.
But like, I don't even know if he was there, but like, that's what I was thinking. And it's not like you went to somebody like, oh, Riz Ahmed won, and he could get up and be like, Chadwick, thank you, or something, like, pay homage to. But it was just Anthony Hopkins, who could not give a shit about this award show because he just wasn't there. Like, he wasn't on a Zoom call. He wasn't nothing.
Nothing like
we couldn't even get him on Zoom.
Yeah, like nothing.
It literally just ended like, oh, all right. Well, Anthony Hopkins won. Bye, guys. And it was like,
Anthony Hopkins won. He's not here. Bye.
They're slandering you, Dex. They said you look like you're talking into a 1998 Dell desktop side speaker in the break room at a Staples. And they said you look like you're talking into a portable table fan.
All right. Y'all got me. You're right. I got to up my, I bought the cheapest microphone that I could find. I didn't think we would last very long doing this podcast shit.
We've been doing this for a year.
I got to upgrade my shit. I just know.
I will say
recalibrated expectations.
Oh, you sound immaculate. You sound immaculate.
Shout out to the Blue Snowball, baby's first podcast, Mike, holding us down out here.
Oh, God.
At Best Buy for like $25.
Hell yeah. I know we'd be doing this shit a year later.
No, I just think it was, and also leading up to that, it can't be understated. We'll go through the winners, but Frances McDormand won, which shout out. I had it in my pool. She won. She's a big weirdo, and that was something that led into it too. It's almost like she got out of Dodge really quickly with her speech. She's like, I've done this before. Thanks for the award.
Y'all just saw me howl. Like, hey, bye.
Yeah. And then it went to Joaquin Phoenix, who's equally, if not more, weird. And then it was just like, bye. Okay. He said something weird. And then it was just like, Anthony Hopkins isn't here.
Can we talk about Best Picture for a second? Work backwards, I guess.
All right. Let's work backwards. Of course, so Anthony Hopkins wins best
lead actress.
Best leading actor.
We can go in the reverse order and just do best actress next. What about that?
Best actress. Frances McDormand, I just said she's a big weirdo, but she great actress. I
did
had
a great job
in that boring movie, is what you tweeted.
In a very, very, very boring film that is good. I do not want to have people think that I think Nomadland is bad, because I don't think that it's bad. I just think that I will never watch it again because it's boring. But Frances does a great job in this film. But let's be real for a second. And I'm not trying to hate on Frances McDormand, who I love, who is great, who is in Fargo, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Frances McDormand. Okay. However good you think her performance is when you watch this film, how do you have to take into account the fact that she's one of the only actors or actresses on set? The whole point of this film is that they're bringing in all these people who are not actors or actresses to tell these stories, which is kind of what makes them effective. But if we're comparing Frances's performance to the other people on the screen, those people are not trained actors and actresses. So doesn't she look bigger and better compared to everybody else, because nobody else is actually acting? They're just saying lines.
Well, I put it as she has to act against those people.
That's true too.
Like,
they're fucking up the chemistry.
Yeah, it's like things are easy when you got Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio acting against each other. When you have like a literal desert person out there like saying lines, and you got to act and respond. Listen to
seen a camera in 7 years. Now they're in a movie.
Yeah, like shout out to those people. They're living their life. Like, the more power to them. But it's just like when you're having to act against like a literal nomad, like a literal nomad person that lives in a van.
Did I freeze?
You did kind of freeze, but when you're having to act against those people, it makes your job that much harder. You know what I mean? And shout out to Chloe Zhao for filming this and capturing the performances the way that she did, because you know, you could have fooled me that they just got these people off like these were commercial actors or somebody that like Hollywood wanderers or something. Could have fooled me. Like, they weren't the best actors in the world. Like, the only other I think professional actor in the movie was the guy that played her love quote unquote interest, who's been in a ton of things.
Her love disinterest, because she was not interested.
Yeah,
She was not feeling it.
Not having it. David Strathairn. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I mean, he's great, but he was the only other like actual guy. So it's, I put it as that. So I that's why I gave it to her, because I thought she had to carry that, honestly. And that's what I thought. And she lived in a literal van. Like, I mean, say what you will, we gave Leonardo DiCaprio an Oscar for living in the cold, like
living in a bear.
Yeah, she went out and lived in a van and shit out in the desert, like, and cleaned up shit. Like, I'll give it to Frances McDormand.
It's a great performance. I can't really hate on the selection. I thought Viola would win, but I guess in retrospect, thinking that two people from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom are going to win Best Actor and Best Actress without that being nominated for Best Picture, was probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's something I thought about too. But also, like, this year, the Best Actress category, which is really not that strong. The male side was much stronger this year versus last year, when the male side was kind of trash. But this just wasn't that strong a year. I mean, Andra Day getting nominated for United States versus Billie Holiday, which, I
mean, she won the Golden Globe, so there was a push that maybe she might win.
Yeah, but I mean, that movie feels very like made for TV. It's not really like an Oscar-y like movie. I don't know. Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman, she was really good, but
you saw her give birth for
I watched her give birth in a bathtub. Shit was weird. But yeah, this year just was not a strong year. Like 2019, when you had like Lady Gaga and Glenn Close and Olivia Colman and like these other great performances and stuff like that. That was a really stacked year. This year it was just kind of like whoever wins it. You can make whatever argument you want to, but like nobody really stood out to me that much. So Frances McDormand getting it feels fine, I guess.
I hope this doesn't come off as offensive, but I really like Vanessa Kirby. But I don't really like Vanessa Kirby in more serious roles. I really just want her to be in every Mission Impossible movie and just kick the shit out of people. I like her so much more as an actor. I want her in action movies, and I want her just being near the action, kicking the shit out of people. Like, I really like her in that vein. I understand, like, as an artist, you want to do a little bit of everything, but like, I really like seeing her in these stupid action movies. And so hopefully she continues to do them at least. And if she wants to do a promising young woman every now and again, that's fine. I thought she was fine in the film. I didn't think she was like some kind of standout, or like, I definitely didn't watch it and think, oh, this is like one of the best performances of the year, even in a down year. I didn't think that, but you know, whatever. I like Vanessa Kirby. Shout out to her.
I haven't watched Pieces of a Woman. I don't know if I ever will, because the way you described that, no, thank you.
You really don't need to watch it. And like, the movie itself is uncomfortable. Shia LaBeouf being in it is uncomfortable. Like, it's just uncomfortable. I only watched it just in case she won, so we could talk about it. But like, she didn't win, so who cares?
Shia LaBeouf always strives for uncomfortable. That's what he's going for. That's literally his job.
I mean, you said you saw Shia LaBeouf's penis, so there you go.
Multiple times, yeah.
Let's see here. I mean, there was a push, I think, for Carey Mulligan that she may walk away with it, but I guess we can talk about Promising Young Woman now.
That movie stinks, bro.
I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Mank. I will just say that.
Not a high bar.
Not a high bar at all. Mank was my least favorite film nominated. I could not have been more bored. And I love Fincher. I am in the Fincher hive. So please don't take this as disrespect to Mr. Fincher. This film did nothing for me. So Promising Young Woman was probably my second least favorite movie of the bunch.
Yeah, for me, watching I had Carey Mulligan in our picks just because I wanted to be different from you guys. We had been pretty unilateral on a bunch of stuff. I was like, let me switch it up. But yeah, watching her performance in Promising Young Woman the whole time, I was like, why isn't this Margot Robbie? Like, I know Margot Robbie produced it.
Holy
and
shit.
she wanted to like not be in it to like give somebody else like the opportunity or whatever. But I was watching it like, yeah, this could have just been Margot Robbie, especially at the end where she's in like the nurse outfit. I was like, oh, they're just playing in my face right now. When this multicolored hair, this nurse costume. I'm like, just make this Margot Robbie. Like this could have been so much. Just make it Margot Robbie.
Yeah, just a Harley Quinn standalone. So we'll move down the list. I don't really have much more to say about the
best actress.
The best actress category. Same. She was great. I mean, very good performance. Hold on, let me find a better list here.
Oh god, now we got to talk about best picture.
Okay, best picture. Yeah, let's work our way down.
Let's have the winner start. Dex got it right, so let's have him.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I just pretty much all the conventional wisdom was that Nomadland had this in the bag. It's been winning awards all season and all that stuff. And you know, I think I kept saying this is that I forget what country singer that song is by, but that Live Like You're Dying song where they're like, I went skydiving and Rocky Mountain climbing and like all this other shit because my friend had cancer and I just wanted to YOLO, you know, like this is that in movie form. And I think that like really resonates with a lot of people, especially a lot of Academy voters. I won't lie, it resonated with me, but yeah, I think pretty much the entire season this has been the favorite, and I just went with the conventional wisdom pick there. Yeah,
easy pick. I went with Sound of Metal just because I like that movie more, but I'm not gonna lie, I really liked Nomadland. Maybe I was a little drunk when I watched it, but it hit me somewhere where I was like, man, 2008 sucked. Like that's basically where it hit me, where it's just like that sucked for a lot of people, and we're gonna still be making movies about that for a long time. But I just hadn't seen that kind of story portrayed about that, and I just thought it was affecting. It was a beautiful film.
It was gorgeous to look at the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, now there wasn't much of a script. Nothing really happens.
Literally nothing really happens.
Yeah, there's no plot. As somebody tweeted to me the other day, the plot is the friends we make along the way. Like that's
The plot was the friends we made along the way. But Tej, I mean, you've said this movie is extremely boring, and I gotta agree with you. It is.
It's good.
It's just it is boring. It is boring.
It's like I'm not ever gonna pop this movie back in like on a random Tuesday night because it's like that's never gonna happen. Like it is a well-made movie. It's super beautiful. I love Chloe Zhao. I'm very happy for her. Hashtag Eternals. Like the Mouse Overlords have won again. Now they can just slap an Oscar winner on that film as if we weren't all going to go watch it anyway. Now we're definitely going to go watch it. But I just found the film just like completely like a chore. I understood the messaging. I really liked the messaging, and it's not it's like a very well-made movie. Anyone that likes it, I definitely see what they like about it. I can see why it affected people the way it did. But for me, my overwhelming emotion was really just boredom, and it really got in the way of me getting into my feels because I was just so bored because the movie, literally nothing happens. And so, it wasn't at the top. I picked Judas because it was by far and away my favorite film of the 8, even though Minari is really good too. Judas and The Sound of Metal were probably my 2 favorite films on the list. Mm-hmm. Those were the films that moved me the most. And I knew that Judas was probably a long shot to actually win, but I thought The Sound of Metal could actually win. And if I had to pick a second film that I thought was going to win, I would have picked The Sound of Metal. It just moved me in a different way. And Riz Ahmed was just incredible in it, as he is in everything. So
that's why I picked it for Best Picture and him for Best Actor. Like, I think I was most moved by that film. Now going back, like, I really do like The Father and the filmmaking choices within The Father, but Judas and the Black Messiah is the most entertaining out of all of those films for sure. Like, I mean, hands down. It's not even close, actually.
Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah I've already seen twice. And these other movies, I don't know if I'll ever watch them again. But Judas and the Black Messiah, I watched it twice, literally the weekend that it came out. So
even the clip they shoot, like the little clips they would show of each movie when they were announcing the nominees. Even the clip, I was just like so rounded up, like, oh my god, like this shit is so fire. Like
I am a revolutionary.
It's just so good. It's just anyway. So like, obviously, I didn't think it was gonna win Best Picture, but it won a couple awards tonight, and we'll get to some other awards that it won. But what a film, man.
Yeah, Trial that we didn't even talk about it. I like Trial of the Chicago 7. Didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was pretty paint by numbers. It was entertaining. I think it's probably the second most entertaining film, actually.
Did it win anything tonight?
No, nothing.
Okay,
which makes so much sense. Like it was just one of the cannon fodder for those ones that are nominated for like The Irishman. It was just nominated for a bunch of awards.
Netflix just getting held out of awards is one of my favorite things.
It's a really funny bit. So Disney
and HBO Max coming through like riding on fools once again, and Netflix is just sitting there like, well, make one production design.
Winner of 2 Academy Awards. They just put down in little subtitles what it was. It won't be Oscar winners tab on Netflix. It'll be Oscar nominees.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we gotta give shouts out. Minari was an incredible film too. Amazing. Also, nothing really happens in that film.
Did it win anything?
Best supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
We'll go down the list. Best director, Chloe Zhao. She won for Nomadland, of course. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, and Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round. This is an interesting category, but I think it was always going to go. I mean, it was always going to go to Chloe Zhao for sure from the jump. Like she's been taking home every single award.
A woman won Best Picture and Best Director. I'm not sure that's ever happened. I'm definitely not sure a woman of color has ever done that. So I mean,
Chinese born.
That's a big
person,
deal.
I think, to ever win as well.
That's a big fucking deal. So props to Chloe Zhao for that, because that's a huge deal.
That reminds me of something that I said earlier to you guys. I think like this year's Oscars, until we got to the very end of it, did a way better job at like representing some of the diverse filmmakers and some of the diverse like just people who watch movies too. Like Chloe Zhao winning everything that she won. I forget her name. Winning for Best Supporting Actress. Daniel Kaluuya winning Best Supporting Actor. Having the lady that signed those 2 or 3 different categories that she signed all back to back. Like just stuff like that throughout the night. It felt way more actually representative this year than previous years, because previous years like you'll have some white people win an award, get up there and be like, we got to represent for all the colored folk.
No, you're right. I think though it does, and I mentioned it does help though when those films are actually nominated. Yeah. It's very, only like 3 people of color were nominated this year. Like, I hope they win and cross your fingers. Yeah, well, it's like, it helps when they're fucking nominated for shit. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's not like people of color haven't been making good movies. It's just like, it's just never been mixed in. And I think we're just starting to see like the traces of that in filmmaking, and people just be like, all of a sudden being, or even the Academy, not people have always been accepting of these films, but the Academy being like, oh yeah, maybe let's be just a little bit less racist, and just integrate these films into what we're doing.
Hey guys, we can read subtitles all the time, not just for best foreign film.
Yeah, I mean, that being best foreign language film though for the Golden Globes, Minari was ridiculous because they speak English in the movie. Like,
it's an English speaking film. At least the version I watched. I can't speak to, but the version I watched, they were speaking English,
and it takes place in fucking.
And it wasn't
Arkansas.
A dub. It wasn't a dub.
In Arkansas,
they were speaking with Arkansasian accents. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I think Chloe Zhao did an amazing job with directing people that were not actors. Directing Frances McDormand. I think this film is brilliant looking. Pacing is something, but all that to say, I am psyched for Eternals.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I really like Chloe Zhao's speech too when she won for whatever award she won for, where she was like, "You got to remember the goodness of people." I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Like,
especially
you're too good for this world.
Yeah. Look around, Chloe. Shit is fucked up out here.
I thought for a second, I mean, David Fincher may have won for Mank, but I really liked Lee Isaac Chung and what he did with Minari. To be honest, I would have given it to him if not Zhao, but we can move on from this category. Do y'all have anything else to say on that?
Fuck Mank.
Okay.
Hashtag fuck Mank.
Best supporting actress. This one was a runaway for sure.
Yeah,
Yu Jung Yuan.
She crushes that role.
Yeah, I'm butchering this name, so I apologize. Yu Jung Yuan from Korea, South Korea. She won for Minari. She had the best speech of anybody at the Oscars.
Best speech of the night for sure.
Just looking at everybody and saying, "I think I'm just more lucky than you." Cold as shit. That was awesome.
Brad Pitt, nice to meet you.
Yeah, Brad Pitt being on the title card of Minari, like at the very end, produced by Brad Pitt, was the most shocking thing about that film.
Yeah,
I was like, "What?"
He's produced a couple Oscar-winning films now. Like this is becoming a thing.
This is what he does. He's in his bag.
This is what he does. When he's not acting, he's just like, "Oh, this movie looks like it's gonna win some Oscars.
I'm gonna throw some money
on that shit.
Yeah.
Throw some money at that shit." And he's just amazing.
Picks good projects. I think the closest one, other than that, was probably for me was Olivia Colman for The Father. I don't know why Glenn Close was nominated for Hillbilly Elegy, other than she's Glenn Close.
I needed her at the show for that one segment
where she was
I'm
throwing
grateful.
it back.
That segment's getting
to the
canceled.
butt.
That segment will not be here next year because everybody took it as a chance to take a shot at the Oscars.
Nah, bro, they need to fucking put that shit on Hulu. I'll watch that shit every week. Like,
Everybody was like, "Well, this song is awesome, so it probably wasn't nominated because the Oscars are idiots." They're literally bleeping them, and it's like, "Oh, this is going badly."
Yeah, Andre Day or whatever.
Questlove set him up for failure on that one.
Yeah.
It really did. Like, you have to have known that this is going to happen. Andre Day was like, "Oh, this is one of the best songs of all time." So of course the Oscars didn't know shit about it. Correct. Yeah. You it's like, "Oh shit!" Like the Oscars, you guys set yourself up for some slander here, bros.
Exactly. That was if you don't know what we're talking about, that was an awesome segment where hit me with a name.
Questlove and Lil Holloway.
Yeah, Lil Rel got on the mic and they played songs that may or may not have been nominated for an Academy Award. None of them were. So it was just like a bit. So it was just like a bit, like Purple Rain was one. And some others, and then they got to Glenn Close, and Glenn Close was handed the mic, and she knew, and it's probably set up like she knew what song it was, but like I didn't know that she knew that song.
Yeah, I was stunned.
That was pretty impressive. I said, "Oh, Glenn Close been hanging around with some black people,"
and she got up and threw it back on screen. So
got up and did the butt of the Oscar telecast.
Yeah, so that was awesome. But also, as Andre Day was being like, "This is some fucking bullshit," and they had to bleep her out on the Oscar. Like half of her words were bleeped out. So not to take away from going back, Yu Jung Young winning for Minari, her performance was just so good.
It was so good. Haunting, so good. Just perfect. At times it was absolutely delightful, and then it was heartbreaking and just amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, she was the way she interacted with the children in that, like that. Minari also had some of the best child actors I think I've ever seen in any movie. Sure.
We all picked that one pretty easily. I was pretty confident about that.
I mean, she was the betting favorite too, but like I just think her performance was brilliant. I think, especially after she had, spoiler alert, has a stroke, and does, goes through that whole process. And also funniest fucking character bringing levity to a film about like poor migrants in Arkansas. That's hard to do. All right, let's go down the list. Supporting actor, Runaway, Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah. Duh. Like that was locked up. That was locked up months ago.
Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't fuck that up because when they announced the nominations, everybody was like, "Wait a minute, Lakeith Stanfield is not a supporting actor. Why are y'all splitting the votes by putting him in this category? Like, don't do this shit. They're gonna fuck this up for us. They're gonna give Dan Kaluuya's award to Sacha Baron Cohen or some other bullshit." And thank God they did the right thing. And he gave an amazing speech.
Great speech.
He thanked his parents for fucking.
We going up tonight, man. We going up.
Also, going back real quick, we can't forget that Maria Bakalova was nominated for the second Borat movie. Just throwing that one out there.
The fact that Borat got nominated for any
two Oscars
has to be 2 Oscars.
Yeah.
Not to mention Sacha Baron Cohen was also nominated for Best Supporting for Trial of Chicago 7. Good night for Sacha Baron Cohen, even though they didn't win anything. Great night for him. I'm sure he did not expect Borat to be nominated for any Oscars, so that's a win. And also Borat 2 is good.
He gets to live in Sydney, Australia with Isla Fisher, so there's that too. So good for him.
The worst place to live.
I liked Sacha Baron Cohen's performance. I thought
Me too.
I thought he was really good, especially in that monologue.
No Daniel Kaluuya.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
And Paul Raci was really good too in Sound of Metal.
For somebody that's not really an actor, I don't think.
Really?
I've never heard of him.
I think
he did a great job.
I think he's more of an interpreter. If I hold on, sorry, we'll look this up. But Paul Raci, if you haven't watched Sound of Metal, it's free on. You all have Prime. It's free on
Amazon Prime. Yep.
Yeah, and he is an actual deaf man. Okay, no, he's an actor. He's been in some things.
He's got like one episode parts and a bunch of TV shit hosts, going back to the 90s and stuff. But
yeah, so he is
this level.
He is an actor, so like an incredible break for him. But he was brilliant. He was very heartbreaking in that movie too, especially in that scene that they showed where he saying, "Hey, you look like an addict," when he's asking him for money.
Oh yeah.
For the RV and stuff. And he tells him to leave. I think it's particularly heartbreaking. I think that performance was really good. But all that being said, Judas and the Black Messiah, runaway performance. He won as soon as he got up in front of that church and delivered that speech. I tweeted that when he won the Golden Globe Award, but that speech is haunting. That speech is awesome.
Incredible. And I'm so glad Dan Kaluuya is an Oscar winner, and I can't wait to see what else he does now that he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's dope as hell. Just Daniel Kaluuya, Oscar winner. He's just gonna keep getting better and keep getting better scripts, and I cannot wait to see what he does next as
well. We all picked Soul for Best Animated Feature. A lot of people want to see Wolfwalkers, but like only like 3 people watch Wolfwalkers on Apple TV. So
only like 7 people have Apple TV, so that makes sense.
I saw a lot of people saying Onward's a better movie than Soul and deserves
not on any planet.
But I was like, where is this coming from?
I liked Onward. It's perfectly fine, but come on.
Yeah, we talked about Onward on the pod and we all loved it, but it's no Soul.
It's not Soul.
No.
It ain't Soul though.
Like Onward is actually, to me, it's incredible because it's Pixar. It's incredible to look at. It's a great story.
It's fun.
It's a good movie. But it's like lower tier Pixar, if we're being honest.
It is not top tier Pixar. It is not up there with the big boys, but it's fun.
Also, that came out beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, that was one of the first.
That feels like 90 years ago.
Exactly.
That was one of the first, like, okay, fuck it. No movies. We're just going to put shit on streaming.
Yep. That was one of the ones that were like, that's one of the highest grossing movies of 2020 just because they got it out just like barely in time to go to the movies. But yeah, Soul was incredible. It's one of the, I feel like it's one, and maybe this is recency bias, I feel like it's one of the better Pixar films that I've seen in a long time.
For sure. To me, like, and maybe it's because of when it came out. Like, it came out at Christmas time, and you know, we're all in our fields around the holidays for varying reasons, so that like had something to do with it too. But that movie is just incredible and delightful, and just like, I don't know, Yeah, I didn't get the like late momentum. Like Onward deserves like whatever. Like nah, Soul was always gonna win that one, and it deserved
Onward
it.
is good. People that haven't seen it should watch it, but nah.
The real stop the steal here. Shaun the Sheep, Farmageddon didn't win.
Farmageddon.
Yeah, a movie that definitely exists and multiple people have seen.
Mm-hmm.
Not fake. Shaun the Sheep. It's a real thing.
Best international feature. Y'all haven't seen Another Round, but it's on Hulu. Go watch it. It won. I have no idea what these other movies are because I'm a stupid American, but Another Round is incredible.
Really?
I mean, it is.
A lot of people told me.
It is brilliant. I think it is a really dark comedy. And of course, sorry, I'm for blanking on his name.
Dark comedies. I'm gonna have to go watch
Mads Mickelson.
Thank you. And of course, Mad Mickelson, the sharpest jaw in the West, is also incredible. I think it's just a really, really good movie. And I think if it was not a foreign language film, I mean, that didn't matter for Parasite, but I think it could have been nominated for Best Picture as well too.
All I know about that movie is that it ends with like a dance number or whatever, and like, that'll be enough for me to watch it. To be honest,
that's incredible.
But they showed clips of the international feature films, which I appreciated. Some categories they showed clips, other categories they didn't, whatever. But for the international film one, there's an Asian film. I didn't tell what country it was, but the clip they showed was literally just two characters staring at each other.
Oh, right.
I was like, none of us have any context for what the fuck this movie is. Like, you can't just show us these two characters staring at each other silently and
then crying. Like, yeah.
Like, yeah, you got to pick a different clip, like with some sort of context here. Like, what?
So going down the list a little bit, we're about to get into like technical awards, which we don't really go into that often, or unfortunately not a lot of people care about. But let's see. Best documentary feature. You said no one cares about the octopus, so let's move on. It's My Octopus Teacher.
She spoke forever about that shit. I was like, dude, nobody's seen your fucking octopus movie. Get the fuck out of here.
Best original score went to Soul, which I was actually excited about. John Baptiste is an incredible musician. I'm proud he won that. He's also like the sitting musician for Stephen Colbert, which is just funny. Like, that's just his everyday job. But now he's an Oscar winner, so that's cool.
The people who win Oscars for songs and scores and stuff are always hilarious because it'll be like Black Panther. It's Childish Gambino's friend producer. So Nine Inch Nails will win an Oscar, and like fucking
3 6 Mafia.
3 6 Mafia will win an Oscar.
Trent Reznor has 2 Oscars now.
Yeah. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross have 2 Oscars.
Wild.
I think they were also nominated for Mank, right? Or did they switch from not doing the David Fincher film to do Soul?
Oh, I don't even know if they did Mank.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Because if they were nominated for both, like, holy shit.
If they did Mank, they wasted their time because that film stinks.
Mank winning any awards and Trial of the Chicago 7 not winning any. Has a 6.9 on IMDb. Holy shit, people did not like this movie.
Bro, it's a chore.
It's a movie that only exists because the Oscars exist. If there were no Oscars and like
this film would not exist.
Yeah, if there was no like reason to try and bait people with like Hollywood nostalgia or whatever and like get awards for it, nobody would have made Mank because it's not a story that needs to be told. Like
Fincher didn't make that movie for us, the fans. He made that movie for the people in the industry, and
he made it for his dad.
Yeah, and his dad. But like that has nothing to do with us. Like, respectfully, like, this film stinks. It looks cool sometimes. Why did it win best cinematography? Because it's black and white. Like that. I don't get that. They always do that. Like, oh god, your film is black and white. Like, it looks kind of old school. Like, who gives a shit? That's not the best looking movie that we saw.
It's black and white. It looks like it's
black and white.
It's like it's on a shitty projector from the
Come on, bro.
Into cinematography. You win.
I just saw Tenet. People were getting shot from everywhere. It was the ride of my life. What do you mean Meg is the best looking movie that I saw this year? That's crazy.
Even fucking Nomadland. It's like these are all fucking
like you could frame everything in this movie.
Every single shot of this movie is a fucking windows, like walls, like screensaver. Like, come on, man. Like, fuck. Amanda Seyfried was good. Everything else about the movie.
She's also a Windows screensaver.
Yeah. I have no comments on this woman.
Buddy. Anyway, respectfully. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, 9 Inch Nails, were also nominated for Mank. So that's
has anyone ever been nominated twice in the same category for like on the music side? That probably is the first time that's ever happened.
Well, I mean, Jamie Foxx was nominated twice in the same year, but like
that's true.
For different categories.
Has anyone ever been nominated twice in the same category? Because that's wild.
Maybe John Williams or Hans Zimmer, maybe, but it has to be music because they're prolific. But like,
if anyone has ever done it, it has to have been Hans Zimmer has been nominated for 3 films in the same year or some shit like that.
Right.
But that's crazy.
Going down the list here, of course, best original song, "Fight for You." No one heard any of these songs.
I'm glad
her won.
Whoever presented that award was like, it's magic whenever songs and movies line up perfectly, and you'll always remember like the movie moment where you heard that song or whatever. And I was like, I didn't hear any of these fucking songs.
I think that song was at the end of.
It's at the end, and also it's on the soundtrack. I listened to the soundtrack, so I had heard the song. But now her is halfway to EGOT, and she's 23 years old. That's fucking wild.
Crazy.
She reminds me so much of. Sorry, I'm blanking on it. It was Thor Ragnarok.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, she reminds me so much of Tessa Thompson. I don't even know why. Like they sound the exact same to me. I don't know why. But she gave a great speech as well. "Fight for You," Judas and the Black Messiah. Best original screenplay. Here's where we start to get into contentiousness a little bit, other than the beginning of this show. But Promising Young Woman. Man, I would have given it to probably Judas and the Black Messiah. Minari also.
Or Minari.
Yeah, Minari also had some great lines between the husband and the wife in that movie. I
don't hate Promising Young Woman as much as a lot of people did, but I definitely understand why people hated it, and I definitely don't think it was worthy of winning such a prestigious award for sure.
Look, it's tough for 3 straight males to get on here and talk about this movie, but here it goes.
That's a good point. Fair point.
That movie was uneven as shit.
There's a lot going on in that film.
There is so much going on in that movie, and it's not like I hated it. Like I kind of was entertained by it throughout most of it, just because I wanted to know what happened. But just it doesn't there's no real people in that movie, except for Bo Burnham. I think is the only real person in that movie. They're all caricatures, and maybe that's the point. But like, that's over my head. I don't know.
Dex hated it.
I'm much lower on that movie than everybody else, and like I told y'all, I might be the asshole. I might be the dumb movie boy, like who just doesn't get it or like doesn't understand women's plight or whatever. But I'm like, that movie was ass to me, man. It was like stuck in the middle of like trying to say something and then like backing away from it, or like trying to like be really edgy and then back away from it, or like trying to be a revenge fantasy and then backing away from it. And then at the end, they just threw all the shit away. Like they just
threw it down the drain. Yeah,
I think it plays so much
movie now.
It plays so much better if it's just a straight revenge fantasy to me. Right. But maybe that's just me being, maybe that's just me like trying to make this film more simple, which is obviously not what they want to do. But I just think it works. The concept works so much better if it's just a straight
horror movie
or a horror movie. But it's like the fact that it's trying to live in multiple worlds is usually can sometimes be a really cool thing, but in this instance, I just thought it was kind of clunky. Like the way like you're shifting like what this film was about or what genre this film is in didn't actually feel seamless to me. It didn't feel like one movie. It felt like a couple different short films, and so that was weird for me.
And yeah, as far as it being best original screenplay, like there's no lines or like set of dialogue or anything like that that just really stuck with me. You know, it just all kind of just happened.
The bar that everybody wants to tweet is, can you guess what women's biggest fear is?
Yep.
And that's obviously haunting, but like
it is.
And I thought that was bars. I thought that was pretty fire execution. They nailed that line.
But there's nothing
that happened.
Yeah, but there's nothing other than like writing whole speeches for Judas and the Black Messiah and things like that. I think that just plays more to me, honestly.
And then like Sound of Metal, you know, like today is not a good day, or like you look like an addict, or just all this other kind of stuff that's said in that movie that's really haunting, you know, like
writing dialogue for sign language,
like all the kind of interaction he has once he gets the implants, and it's like all the sound is fucked up, like all of it just so good. I would have given it to Sound of Metal or Judas and Black Messiah, but
yeah, best adapted screenplay. This was a no-brainer for me, honestly. The Father won for best adapted screenplay, and
what is it adapted from?
The guy that directed and wrote it. It was a play. He directed. This was his, I think, first feature film, if I'm not mistaken.
But he wrote the play as well?
He wrote the play as well, and then wrote
the screenplay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's why I really like the film, because he adapted it into something that it wasn't, even though he knew the source material because he wrote it. So and that's why I really like the film, because he changed it up a lot and really did some interesting things with that movie, where I said, this is the most horrifying film of 2020. I thought it was a horror film.
Yeah,
it needs to stream somewhere. It needs to. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it because you got to pay for it. But like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's in theaters still. So if you feel comfortable, definitely go see it. But it's not.
I might go see that in the theater. I watched it at home, but
F2 movies
watch in the theater.
Shout out F2 movies, allegedly. But yeah, man, that movie is like extremely haunting, and you said it's adapted from a play, and it doesn't necessarily feel like that. A lot of movies that are adapted from plays, like I was saying this about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, like you can tell, like, oh, this was a play. Like it's all monologues, and they like really focus in on individual characters instead of like full sets and all that and blah blah blah. But this one, I don't know, it just felt more like a movie than like a play adaptation. So I didn't even realize it was a play adaptation until you just said that.
I didn't realize that either. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and it is like one of the most renowned plays of the last decade or something like that. Also, I think it's done well overseas, especially in England and stuff like that. But it's he
that play.
Yeah, he wrote and he wrote that play years ago after he experienced his grandfather with dementia.
Damn. Florian
Zeller. But he also directed the movie, which I think this is his only like second or third feature film to direct. No, this is his first feature film. He did an episode of
Jesus.
Yeah, he did an episode of a TV show, and this is his first feature film.
Some people are so fucking talented.
Yeah, he was in his bag, and he made like British accents not annoying. So shout out to him for that.
And he's French too.
So, he's French. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't have a great speech, but it was kind of long. But I mean, whatever. But yeah, I think the way that was written, he gave Anthony Hopkins some bars in that film. To be honest,
definitely.
But go ahead.
Anthony Hopkins, like amazing performance again. He completely deserving winner. It's fine that he won.
I think Anthony Hopkins knows that he won yet, or is he still asleep?
He's still asleep.
Nah, he's high as hell. Just.
The better question is, does he know he was nominated? Did anybody tell him? Hey, the Oscars are tonight. You're nominated for Best Actor. You might win.
You know what's funny is Anthony Hopkins is like extremely logged on Twitter.
Well, do you think that's Anthony Hopkins?
No, he like takes selfies and shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How old is Anthony Hopkins? He's like in his 70s.
83.
God damn.
I think I think he's about as old as my grandfather. Like he is old.
I enjoyed the performance, man. He's haunting in that movie, in that film.
I think, well, you know, that film also affects me more because it's just like, you know, someone or have been around someone that has experienced dementia. And the fact that they did such an interesting way of portraying what that does to a person.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. It's the worst. And it's terrifying. I think that's the most terrifying thing on the planet, besides, like, I don't know, burning in a fire or something like that, is like your mind betraying you.
Yeah, and the movie does a really good job of, like, you, the viewer, also feel like betrayed by Anthony Hopkins' mind in this movie.
Yeah.
You're, like, entirely disoriented a few minutes. Yep. Like, I was like 15 minutes into this movie. I was like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
Where are we? What is going on?
Who are you? What the fuck is happening? What is going on?
Why is that a new person? It's like, so Anthony Hopkins was born in 1937.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. So best cinematography went to Mank, which we all agree. Why?
Oh, brother.
I would have given it to Nomadland.
Same.
Best makeup and hairstyling, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, sure. Best costume design, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, also sure. Mulan was nominated in that category, which is interesting.
I still haven't seen that.
Still haven't seen it. Never got to it.
I heard it's good too, and I want to watch it. But, I haven't seen
big
it.
meh. This is where we kind of get things that I really agree with. Best film editing and best sound went to Sound of Metal.
Easy decision.
Easy decision. So especially sound, I think that is the best use or lack of use of sound. Like, we're dumb people, like, we're dumb movie boys, so we don't really know. But, like, I think that is the best lack of sound or use of sound that I've ever seen in a movie. Other than like a war film or something like that. You know what I mean?
This is the second movie I've ever watched. And my first thought after watching the movie was, oh, that's going to win the sound awards. Because it's not like I sit around and think about sound that often. The first was obviously A Quiet Place because of the lack of sound. Right. And I watched it in the movie theater. The Sound of Metal, I watched at home. And I'm sure the sound would be even better in the movie theater. But, like, even at home, I was like, oh, what they're doing with the sound in this movie, like, it's literally so important to how the story is told that, like, you understand how important this was. And they just did a great job of the sound editing. So that was an easy decision.
This is a dumb movie boy trope to say, but it's another character within the film.
Yes.
Yeah, that is definitely a hashtag film Twitter thing to say. But yeah, I'm gonna say another hashtag film Twitter thing to say. But watching it and hearing it kind of reminded me of when I saw Baby Driver in theaters, where I was like, "Oh shit, the sound's like moving around." And when he takes his headphone out, like it's on one side, and Bob, like, I was like, "Yo, this shit is incredible! I feel so immersed." And Sound of Metal was like that, like ratcheted up to 1,000,000 and was sounds that I've literally never heard in my life before. Like, so Sound of Metal deserves to win for sure.
Of course, when he like starts to find out he's going deaf, and there's like the ringing, and then when he's putting in the cochlear implants for the first time, and they turn it on, and you hear what a cochlear implant, or what people think a cochlear implant sounds like.
So crazy to watch.
And it's just this. It is. If you haven't seen the movie, it's just like it kind of sounds like you could hear what you're talking about. But like, that's what it sounds like in the movie, and you're just like, oh shit, this isn't what he thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
is an incredible.
Heartbreaking.
And it's heartbreaking because they prime you because you are rooting for this guy so badly, and they're putting this implant in. And you're just like, oh shit, he's about this, like, it's about to snap. He's gonna hear shit. Then it's like immediately you're just like, oh, his hearing is never going to be like what it was. Like, you can barely understand what's happening around him. Like, it's just heartbreaking.
Let's see. Best live action short, nobody watched. That was the Groundhog Day for police brutality.
The only thing I know about that movie is that there's a black kid that gets shot, and the pool of blood is in the shape of Africa. And I just never want to see that film.
I did see that on Twitter, and I said, no, this isn't a film for me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm good. No thanks.
No, thank you.
Let's see. Best visual effects went to Tenet. Y'all have seen Tenet. I have not.
Dang.
You need to watch that shit. That shit is incredible, bro.
Travis
Scott, understand why they won that award.
Let's go.
It has the worst sound of any movie I've ever seen, but it has the best visuals that I've seen in a long time. That shit bangs.
Dude, this category is weird because it's like Love and Monsters, which was really good. If you haven't seen it, it's a very entertaining film, very kind of stupid, fun film. Midnight Sky, which people said was ass. Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and then Tenet. Like, if you watch it, it's like Tenet's running away with this, but it also still feels like a one for Chris Nolan. They're like, oh, we'll give you one.
He deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it. I don't
really
know what
wish he
would put above it, but
whoever edited the sound of that film should be fired and never allowed to work in the industry again. But he
fired. That shit sounded so ass in the movie theater, bro. Like,
oh my god, bro! You couldn't hear none of the dialogue, bro.
But you didn't.
All you heard was random bass and random gunshots, and that's all you could hear.
Shit's moving backwards. People are fighting backwards in midair. Like, they blew up a plane. Like, it was just
Robert Pattinson's hot.
Yeah,
I had a great time. I'm sure it'll be when it comes back to movie theaters. Make sure you go see this film. I know a lot of you didn't see Tenet in theaters, even though those of you who saw it at home. I had the pleasure of seeing it in a movie theater. Go see that in a movie theater when it re-releases, which I'm sure they will do. That shit is incredibly fun, but don't try to understand what's happening. Just enjoy the movie.
I went and saw it twice. I still couldn't tell you what happened, but
I can't tell you. I have no idea what happened in that film, and I don't care. I had a great time.
And then Mank won for best production design, which sure.
Yeah, I thought that was fine.
It looks like Hollywood. Wow.
I actually would have given this to The Father because of how much like the apartment changes throughout. That's more film making than that is like actual set design. But like as much as the apartment changes throughout The Father, I thought that was really incredible.
Yeah, just how disorienting that is. It's like that's a character in the film. Like, just give it the award.
So yeah, let's just talk about really quickly. I mean, we're going on an hour now, but like this is gonna be a shorter episode. But let's just talk about really quickly, like I'd say this, the vibe of this year's Oscars, because I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really like some people will say it was boring, kind of like whatever, but less people, more. They're all at tables, kind of like the Golden Globes, which give or take people like I like the Golden Globes. I think they're fun. But it was kind of laid back. They let people come up, give their speech. And there wasn't like any gimmicks or anything besides maybe the song thing. But
that was an incredible gimmick though.
It was great. It was great. The one they did hit. But it was just kind of a laid back setting. They didn't have everybody's mom there. They didn't have your friend's aunt from like second grade there. Like, it wasn't a huge auditorium. It was just the people that we wanted to see were there. You know what I mean? So that I liked it. And I liked the walk-in, the production value of the walk-in of Regina King walking in, holding her
really
Oscar
cool. Was really cool.
Just chef's kiss. Just
an incredible way to start the show.
What a flex. What a flex.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm not nominated tonight, but fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? And it looked like something out of a Tarantino film, but also something that they did tonight that they hadn't done, and I think is maybe they had more room to operate it or something. It was like all in 4K. All that shit was looking great.
Incredible.
I don't know. What do y'all think about like sort of this setup? What do you think? I mean, no Oscars host. They had a joke bit with Jimmy Kimmel coming out and being like, I used to host the Oscars or whatever, and they don't need me anymore. But what do y'all think?
I like the format. I liked it a lot, and it's probably going to go away. We're going to go back to having everybody has 10 guests or whatever the number is. So it's like a novelty as well, because we know at some point we're going to be back in a packed, nice arena. Like they're at Union Station. Like that's not the nicest part of town. It's not the nicest venue. They're like literally in a train station. So, I appreciate
they were getting rid of homeless camps, which is another thing.
Not a great headline that came out. Not great. But I like the format and the flow of it. I'm just into no host just for all the award shows, not just the Oscars.
They should never have a host again.
Yeah, like there's just so much pressure, and all we do is complain about the fucking host 9 times out of 10 anyway. I kind of like the no host thing, just like bounce it around, just let a couple Avengers go on the stage, just let like a couple famous people that we know and love go on the stage. Like it's fine. Like
let a couple of Avengers go on.
Yeah, you don't need one person or two people that's supposed to entertain us all night, because then we're getting into their B and C level material, and we don't need to hear that. Like just let everybody do a good bit, and let's keep it moving. I thought it flowed very well, and I thought it was as someone who's been watching the Oscars for years, I thought it was a pretty enjoyable Oscars. I never really got bored. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, actors are funny enough to do bits on their own if you write it for them.
Exactly.
Just have a couple like comedy writers come in and write them a couple of bits.
And it's cool to just have like a couple of moments with, these actors and actresses we all love. It's like, okay, we're going to open with Regina King. That's amazing. Okay, cool. Now Zendaya's here. That's amazing. Now Reese Witherspoon is here. Now Brad Pitt is here. Like, just being funny, being cool, doing their thing, and then getting out of there. They're not, like you said, they're not standing up there trying to like be Amy Poehler for 3 hours. Like, just do one little bit, bring us your little piece of content real quick, 2 minutes tops, and get out of there. And I think that works perfectly. And I liked how they kind of spent some time talking about each of the nominees, because a lot of these people are people we have never heard of and will never hear of again. But it's cool to be like, oh, they got into movies by going to see Jaws or whatever the fuck they were saying,
serving popcorn to people.
Yeah, they were serving popcorn, or they were like holding hairpins on set of whatever. Like
they were collecting Leonardo DiCaprio's shit from a like.
I like that. It took forever. It felt like we were gonna be there all night with the Oscars. I guess that's why they say the thing happens for the end, so they could just be like, bye, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than the length of it, I thought it was dope, and I think they should do it like that more often. They mentioned they're going back to the Dolby Theater next year and doing the same old thing that they were doing or whatever. But nah, fuck that. Go back to Union Station. This was dope.
Not if the pandemic can help it.
The only complaint I really had until the ending, obviously, was how long some of the speeches were, but that's something they really can't do anything about. Like some of these people are winning awards. We're never going to hear their names again. Like they're going to have long careers, I'm sure, but like we aren't going to know who they are. We aren't going to know who the sound mixers or the sound editors or the makeup artists are. We just don't know that stuff. So they're having their moment. Like, of course, they're going to use their moment, but some of those speeches were getting so long. The French dude who directed the short, I think, the
French dude that did the father. The French dude that did the father was very long to start.
He was talking for like 30 minutes, and then as soon as I was like, all right, you got to wrap it up, he started talking about something really sad. Then it was like, fuck, no, I can't tell this guy to get off the stage, but like, I'm really tired of this guy being on the stage. Well, what can you really do? Like, there's nothing they can do about that. So I would give them probably an A for the whole show. Like, I enjoyed the show. I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite since I've just really been paying attention to the Oscars. It's only been like 5 or so years that I've really been sitting and watching and caring about the Oscars. So it's been my favorite show that I've seen. But yeah, man, that dude that gave a long ass regular thank you speech. And then he got into like his daughter dying right before.
Yeah, see, I'm like, come on, bro.
They shot the film and all that, and I was like, oh man, you're breaking my heart, but we gotta move on.
There was, it's funny because they did this kind of like this back in the early days of the Oscars. It was just sort of before it was televised, it was just sort of a thing that they did in like a hotel, like a local athletes awards or something like that. They just did it in the hotel, like, hey, here's your Oscar, champ. You know what I mean? But and then even in like the 1940s and 50s, when it started to get televised, it was really more sort of the actors and thing. And then when it got bigger and bigger, it became this huge ordeal. That's getting nominated for Emmys for Best Live thing and everything, and getting billions of views. That being said, taking a step back from that and it being this I don't know if you could call it fake pretentious, or like not fake pretentious, like getting away from being this huge deal and being sort of this fake low key thing, and try to get away a little bit from the pretension of it. Felt good. It felt refreshing.
Yeah, it felt really good this year.
That needs to be the takeaway that they have.
Plus, just having it in general.
Having it in general.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think them not being in mask and that, like not having like big ass like plexiglass like between them or whatever, that kind of shit. Like we've seen from other things that they try to do live, not having a bunch of Zoom calls and all that. Like they're just doing an event. Apparently, it being
everybody's vaccinated.
They kept mentioning how safe it was and all that, which I was like, okay, cool, we get it. I appreciate why you're doing this, but you have to tell me anymore. But I think just them doing just a regular ass event, it being normal, small, low key, chill, it just felt right.
Little kickback at the house.
Yeah, me and all my friends in dresses that are worth more than your life. Like, we're just hanging out.
Yeah, me and Brad Pitt just having a little kickback. It was, I thought it was a little refreshing. Now there's a little pretense with some of the speeches and everything else, but that's the Oscars. Like, fuck it, like whatever. Like we're gonna hear about the social cause of the month, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. If you don't watch, people who say that they don't watch the Oscars because of that, you're a liar. You're just a liar. Sorry.
Yeah, Tyler Perry told me that I should not hate someone just because they're a cop, and I continued to watch. So I'm not really here for anybody.
It's not
has an issue. Like, I was like, oh, that sucks that Tyler Perry said that, and I literally just kept watching the Oscars. It was fun.
Yeah, I've seen some people I've seen like only 2 or 3 people say this, but they're like, well, that Chadwick Boseman shit was so whack. I'm just not watching the Oscars next year. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, even if you're not lying, that's cool or whatever. But I'm gonna be right back here pissed about whatever the Oscars do next year. I love this shit.
People that don't love the Oscars probably are telling the truth that they won't come back. But like for me, it's like, oh, they do like once every 2 years or something. It's like, oh, I hate that. But I just love the Oscars. I just love it. I will always watch it. So
I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah, and Dex, it's an entertainment show. At the very end of the day, it is an entertainment show for us to debate. It's basically like the MVP award. It's just like for any talking heads to debate, like us idiots getting on here and talking about who should have won, who shouldn't have won. But it drives media and it drives conversation, and that's really all it is. It's an entertainment thing. But at the end of the day, also, it gives actors and all these people credit that they may not have had, and it gives you more lanes, though, too. Yeah,
the price of the brick goes up when you put Oscar winner in front of someone's name. That when they walk into a negotiation, it's like a different ball game. It doesn't matter whether you like the film or you like the project they were working on. Like once somebody can say that they're an Oscar award winner, for the most part, the price of the brick goes up. So it's a pretty big deal.
It's not a measure. It's not a measure of talent. It's a measure of value, which is a very interesting thing that we do. But that's why it's almost worth watching, because it's like, all right, you can put that in front of your name from now on. Like it was never going to affect Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt, but for some of these people, bank their career. Like whatever happened to Adrian Brody? You know what I mean? Or
look at the director of The Father. Like we had never heard that guy's name. Now all of a sudden, this is his first directorial debut, and now he could probably go make whatever he wants to now. Like look at Chloe Zhao. Like obviously she had already gotten like something like The Eternal, so obviously people were already paying attention to what she was making. But she was making small indie films. Nomadland's the biggest movie that she's made, but people were paying attention.
Like $3 million to make.
Yeah, like it's a tiny movie, but it's like much bigger than her other movies. And it's like now she can go make whatever she wants to. This stuff is important to people that work in that industry. And so you understand why it's so fraught kind of with the tension that you get, and kind of people really care about it is because people care on behalf of the people that really care, which are the people who are directly affected by it. We just care as just saying if certain people's works are not like awarded or not respected in this space, and this is the space that's making stars out of people, then the inequalities that exist at the top of this industry will always be there. If you don't start to reward people of color and women that are making films or acting in films or doing whatever they're doing around films, if you don't acknowledge their work in this space, the biggest of the spaces, then their work inherently means less on the market. And so that's why people care so much. It's like, we want the industry to look different. We want to see money behind women. We want to see money behind people of color. We want to see money behind people telling different stories. And the only way that happens is that you acknowledge the work that they're already doing in those spaces.
Yeah, and the Academy is not like a bunch of random critics who all live in New York and like applied to be in this thing.
No.
It's not like
it's their peers.
Yeah, it's your peers. It's not, teens. Like, it's not people who like still watch 12 hours of ridiculousness on MTV who decided to vote. Like, after seeing that link pop up, like it's your peers. Like, it's other actors, it's other actresses, it's directors, screenwriters, and costume designers, and all this stuff who are deciding this is what we think is the top of our industry. And that matters, like whether people want to admit it or not. And people know it matters, because whenever you get into an argument with anybody about an actor that they like, the first thing they're going to do is count Oscars, count nominations. Like, y'all know this shit means a lot. Like, so don't act like you don't care.
It's a count the rings argument for entertainers.
Yeah, don't act like you don't care, and then like come at me and say, "Well, look at all the nominations and the wins that Jamie Foxx has." Like you care. We get it, and that's cool. Like, it's fun. Just shut up. Let us enjoy the Oscars. Let us get mad, and we'll be back next year and do that shit again.
Basically, we're just screaming at no one, but at, like, people on Facebook that just get on any comment section and be like, "No one cares."
Facebook,
you care a little bit. You care a little bit to comment that you don't care.
I'm not watching the big pop culture event crowd is the wackest. Like, I don't care if you're not watching the Super Bowl. I don't care if you're not watching the Oscars. I don't care that you're not watching fucking.
The rest of us are watching.
Pay-per-views. We're all watching this shit. We're all tweeting about it. Like, let us have this communal experience.
I can't believe you actually watch that pretentious bullshit where people just get up and give you socially. Like, yeah, it's riveting. I love it.
It's incredible. I wait all year long for this shit. I follow along. I listen to podcasts telling me what shit's gonna be in this award show. Like,
usually I get drunk. I play fantasy around it. Like, it's fun. Like, I love the Oscars.
Yeah. So just real quick, I just want to go over this article by thethings.com. See what y'all think. Rank the most overrated films ever to win an Oscar.
Oh, yes. Crash should be way up there.
All right. So we don't have a draft this episode, so sorry. We could have probably done like most overrated films, but
just give us the top 10.
Top 10. All right. Well, top 15 is number 15 is The Artist, which fuck that movie. Yes. Number 11 is Dancing with Wolves, of course. All right. Birdman.
Okay, wait a second. I hate this
10.
list. That film is good.
I still never seen it.
Ordinary People beat out Raging Bull in 1980.
Sure.
I've never seen that. I've seen Raging Bull, not Ordinary People.
A Beautiful Mind.
Yep, good one.
Beat out Gladiator.
Yeah, fuck A Beautiful Mind, then. We are going to do a Gladiator episode.
Yeah,
that film is perfect.
Sure.
Both Russell Crowe joints.
Greatest sports movie of all time.
The English Patient beat out Fargo and Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
Fargo is such a banger. Like, I
don't think Jerry Maguire is that good. You know how much I love Tom Cruise. But
I'm surprised
Fargo
that was nominated for as many Oscars as it was.
Me too. Especially going back and watching it. It's like Tom Cruise has made 20 better movies than that. So, like, what are we doing? But anyway.
Jerry Maguire is a movie that we like. That was like the DVD cart day. Like, we're going to watch
exactly.
Jerry Maguire. Like, it just never gave me Best Picture vibes.
Fargo's one of the funniest dark comedies ever made, ever in the history of American cinema. That shit bangs. That shit's still good. The TV show based on that film is amazing. That shit is amazing.
Crash.
Yeah,
number 6. I don't know what other films were nominated that year, but
Can
Crash
you
won.
imagine Crash winning an Oscar today?
They would burn the fucking Academy to the ground.
Oh my god, dude, the outrage.
I said this earlier. Gladiator winning Best Picture. Sorry, it won Best Picture in 2000. I thought it beat out 2001. Let's see what else.
Oh wait, Gladiator did win Best Picture.
Yeah.
Okay, it's incredible. It should have.
Is it the best movie?
It's the greatest sports movie of all time, bro. It's
sports
incredible.
movie. That's a good point.
Oh my god, it's so riveting.
Let's see. 2001 Oscars. Benicio del Toro won. Russell Crowe won. Let's see.
Man, Russell Crowe. Remember when Russell Crowe was like winning Oscars and like the world was his oyster? What the fuck happened to that?
Slam some guy's head into a payphone.
I'm at a payphone.
He went from that to being the worst part of American Gangster. Like,
yeah,
4 years.
Gladiator definitely should have won. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Traffic, Chocolat, and Aaron Brockovich were all.
Yeah, get them shits the fuck out of here. Aaron Brockovich is good, but get them shits the fuck out of here. Gladiator is incredible.
Oliver, 1968. No one gives a fuck. We're gonna move on.
Nobody saw that shit.
Midnight Cowboy was also nominated. Number 3, Green Book.
Yep. Wait, damn, they got 2 ahead of Green Book. I can't wait for these.
This one I agree with. Number 2.
Did The Birth of a Nation win Best Picture or something like that? I wouldn't put it past them, but like, did that happen?
I think it might have actually.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hold on. We got to look this up. Birth of a Nation. Oh, goddamn, a literal KKK film.
I would not be surprised. This was one of the biggest movies ever made at the time. They screened that shit in the White House.
Oh, they didn't have the Oscars back then.
Oh, that makes sense.
1915. All right. So number 2, I actually really agree with. Shakespeare in Love beat out Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that stinks. Shakespeare in Love is not good.
What the fuck is that shit? That's the biggest atrocity.
Saving Private Ryan is great though. You got
Saving Private Ryan's the best war film, and it came out 25 years ago. 26 years ago.
Peak Hanks. That shit is good. That shit
Peak
is really
Hanks,
good.
Peak Spielberg.
Yep.
Incredible. And this says No Country for Old Men.
All right. Close that list fucking immediately. That's the greatest movie of all time.
Wait, they're saying
This
that's
is
the most
ridiculous.
overrated Oscar winner? Is that
Yeah.
what?
Who made this list? No Country for Old Men is more overrated than Crash and Green Book?
That's what it says.
What did it,
I don't care what it went against. That shit is amazing.
The thing that says thethings.com said No Country for Old Men was nearly not as mesmerizing as people remember.
That's not true.
There's some stiff
I just watched that shit like a month ago.
There's some stiff competition in 2007, and somehow No Country for Old Men was a film that wound up on top. Javier Bardem's performance was largely why the film was so loved, but really the movie was rather dull. There Will Be Blood was a much better film that year.
That's not true, first of all. And second of all, calling No Country for Old Men dull that's mind-blowing that's the word they've used to describe that film.
No Country for Old Men deserved it, but I love There Will Be Blood. That film is kind of boring.
Like There Will Be Blood, but There Will Be Blood is boring.
Yeah.
It's good, but it is boring.
It's in Nomadland territory.
Yes, it is a long journey. It is boring, but it is really good.
It was also nominated with Juno, Atonement, and Michael Clayton.
All
other. Yeah.
Nobody remembers or cares about Juno.
No, people love Juno. I love Juno.
Well, people loved it at the time. Do people
White
still
people
watch
love
Juno
Juno.
in 20? That's true.
I feel like
Nobody watches Juno in 2021
except when Elliot Page came out. I don't think anybody has thought about Juno otherwise.
People still watch No Country for Old Men to this day. That shit
True.
is perfection.
Like a Josh Brolin comeback. That gave Josh Brolin the agency to do whatever he wanted.
It really did. He literally could do whatever he wanted to after that. Man, what a film.
Green Book. They picked the worst movie nominated that year. Well,
what was nominated that year?
Well, no.
That was
Vice.
Yeah,
that
Vice,
was Roma. That was Bohemian Rhapsody. That was the greatest film of all time, A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody was the worst movie nominated.
Bohemian Rhapsody was the worst movie nominated, but Green Book was a close second.
Yeah, Green Book was also trash.
I mean, okay, so Green Book, A Star Is Born, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, Roma, The Favorite, Vice.
That was criminal what they did.
I love
five of those movies, bro.
I love A Star Is Born. I would have given it to that. We thought Roma was going to win, which we were surprised. Bohemian Rhapsody is the worst film I've ever seen.
Black Panther is great. The Favorite is
Black
great.
Panther was never going to win.
It wasn't. Though. But hell, I said that, and then Green Book won, and I said maybe Black Panther could have won because I don't know. I still don't know how it happened. Like, it's just like what?
Yeah, I can't imagine Green Book being like a lot of people's first choice. The Oscars does like for Best Picture, at least they do like
the ranking system.
The rank system. So like if you have it like second, that'll get a lot of points or whatever. I can't imagine that being a lot of people's first place like movie.
I had to be honest with you. I still haven't seen it just because of y'all's reviews.
You don't need to
Green
see
Book.
It.
You don't need to see it.
There's nothing to gain.
It's not as bad as Bohemian Rhapsody, even with the premise being like wholly racist and the family being like, "Hey, please don't nominate this film." And then they were like, "No, we're gonna give it Best Picture." But like, Bohemian Rhapsody is really bad. Like, it's an awful film. And the only reason that it was nominated is because people really like Queen songs and they really like singing Queen songs in a movie theater, which was fun as shit. I did it. I went to see that film.
Same.
I had a great time singing those songs. That film stinks, though. Like, the actual film stinks.
Yeah.
Just watch Live Aid on YouTube. We said
exactly.
This before.
Yeah, Green Book is a well-made movie that's like misguided and being made, but Bohemian Rhapsody is just a bad film. Like,
just bad.
It's just not made well.
Yes.
I still can't believe that he won for that portrayal of Freddie Mercury.
And I like him as an actor, so I'm not trying to shit on him, but that was egregious that he won that. Especially in a year that was Christian Bale was in Vice. Like Christian Bale was
like Vice. 300 pounds for Vice. Yeah.
Bradley Cooper was actually
Cooper was amazing. He was actually singing.
How are you going to give the award to a guy who was acting in a biopic for a singer who didn't fucking sing?
Bradley Cooper was fucking singing
and playing the guitar and probably doing opioids
and
directing.
Like,
that fucking film is great.
How did they not give that man any fucking awards for that movie, bro?
They gave that man 0 awards for doing 9 jobs on one of the best movies of the year. That's crazy.
Exactly. It's like when LeBron would lead the finals in every stat category and still lose.
It still didn't get. He still lost. Shit. No MVP.
Bradley Cooper is up there with Leo now. He's been nominated for 8 Oscars and nothing.
Jesus Christ, man!
The first,
him and Glenn Close 8 apiece.
The first hour of A Star Is Born is probably one of the most compelling hours of a film you have ever seen. It's perfect. It's literally perfect.
It's time to testify.
And they gave this man nothing for Ayo.
Yeah. Ayo.
Was that your Bradley Cooper singing impression? That was incredible.
It's I mean, he's not a great singer. He's not a great singer, but that opening when he's like doing tequila and taking drugs and he just goes out there and just I'm like, holy shit, this is the best fucking movie I've seen.
Jackson Maine is a hero, bro. That shit was, I love that shit.
Every one of us in the theater was like, yes, do those drugs. Like, we're just
those drugs. Smash that pill with your boot. Snort that shit. Let's go.
God damn. I just love that movie. You stole my fucking voice. Is the best line.
Lady Gaga punching cops in the face. Like, this is amazing. This is everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah. And they didn't give him shit for that movie, but you know,
that was a travesty. He got nothing. He was so good, man.
But it's like we got to give it to the dude that didn't even sing.
Didn't sing, but he wore fake teeth. So, you know.
I hate that movie. That movie stinks.
They gave it best editing too, which is just
awful
shit ever,
awful. Like, I don't normally notice that much, but like that was like somebody posted a clip of like a conversation they had with their
like the managers or whatever.
The manager, and it's just awful. Jump cuts all over the place. Anyway, do y'all have like a overrated Oscar film besides Green Book?
Nah, I'm good.
I really hate The Artist. I would like to just reemphasize that film stinks.
Yeah, my I mean, the one that everybody says is like Dances with Wolves, which beat out Goodfellas.
I haven't seen Dances with Wolves since I was like a kid, but I know that Goodfellas is Goodfellas, and so I'm gonna join them in their anger.
Yeah, mine is Shakespeare in Love, because I watched Shakespeare in Love. It's fine. It's a fine movie. It's not Saving Private Ryan. What the fuck are we doing? What is that?
That's how
really hard to look back at that.
And Royden, I know you don't like this take, but that's how I feel about King's Speech. It's good.
That's fine.
It's well.
It's good, but I'm never watching
Network.
The King's Speech again. And it's not The Social Network.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's even more egregious though, because when you have something as visceral as Saving Private Ryan, it just affecting as it was and how popular it is. I don't know, man. It won every other award too, I think, that year, and just didn't win Best Picture.
I feel the opposite, because I feel like The Social Network is aging so well because of what Facebook became, that it's like, oh, you really missed an opportunity.
Aging better than World War II, T?
Yes, because World War II, while obviously a big deal, is not like necessarily relevant to like today's time. The way that the social
what
network,
are we talking about?
The Social Network is so relevant to the times we live in. After what happened in 2000, when the hell did 16. Trump win? 16.
He's just saying he thought Hitler had some good points.
No, I'm not. I'm not defending Hitler. I'm just saying we don't really have another, like, oh my God, we can look to World War II to learn lessons of what we're doing now. Like, none of that shit is applicable to today, because we don't have dictators in the same way.
Do you know what administration we just got out of?
That's true. But I mean, he was locking people in camps. So I guess that is true, that he actually did lock people in camps. That's true. Okay. Never mind.
Every day
Save Private Ryan.
In Trump's America, I was waking up like, I gotta go save Private Ryan.
So,
but you were logging on to Facebook for sure. You have a point. I get what you're saying. I'm busting your balls, but yeah, man, the Facebook, the social network. Even now, you can argue that it's aged like spoiled milk, because we didn't even know where the fuck that was going. Even then, the social network, go listen to our social network episode, but it kind of like even jumps the shark from that.
It was way ahead of its time. It was already painting Mark Zuckerberg as that. We had not seen Mark Zuckerberg enough to know enough about Mark Zuckerberg to form an opinion about who he was as a person. We just knew about Facebook. But now, in retrospect, it's like maybe that film, maybe the one thing wrong with that film is that it
doesn't go too hard.
It doesn't go hard enough, and is at some point sympathetic to Mark Zuckerberg. Whereas if that film was made like now, maybe you wouldn't get that sympathetic angle. And I don't think it's that sympathetic to him. I think it paints him in a truly bad light, but not bad enough for the super Lex Luthor villain that he became.
Yeah, you come away from that movie thinking Mark Zuckerberg's kind of a dick instead of Mark Zuckerberg's
exactly. You don't come away thinking he's a supervillain. You just think he's kind of a dick. Like, that guy kind of sucks, but he's literally a supervillain. So it's like, oh damn, like.
Yeah. So that has been our Oscars episode. Of course, there's some other things. We don't really do news on this podcast, but some trailers dropped tonight. In the Heights.
I'm there first night.
West Side Story. Two musicals. Yeah. Catch me in the theater for night one for both of those films. Actually, like West Side Story is kind of overdone at this point, but I'm a sucker for it. Like, fine.
I'm not sure West Side Story. I'm not sure it's going to be good, but it's a classic. I love the original. I've seen the play. I've seen the movie a million times. I've seen the play like 5 times. I'm there first night for West Side Story. I have no idea why the play is, but I'm there.
Yeah, the musical is so entertaining. I mean, low key, Steven Spielberg has been on some stinkers, but like,
that's what I'm worried about. I'm scared of that.
But we don't know how to feel about Ansel Elgort at this point. I mean, he got a payday, so whatever, he won. But like, yeah, I'm in there night one. In the Heights look way more entertaining.
I'm in there for both those night one. And also, at some point, we're getting Black Widow, which didn't when did the Shang-Chi trailer drop? Between our last recording? Or?
Yeah, it did. Also, Shang-Chi trailer came out.
Yeah, I will be there night one. The niggas better not be shooting at my movie theater, because I'm about to be in there night one. So please don't be shooting at any movie theaters, because I'm going to be there at midnight. Fuck yes, I cannot.
Hashtag stop Asian hate, because I need y'all to relax.
I need y'all to relax and let me see this film. Facts.
Let them have their moment. Like we had our moment for Black Panther. Like
I gotta tell you, Marvel is huge in China. That film is going to
do bananas numbers.
Oh
it's going to single-handedly bring back AMC theaters like that.
And what if it's actually good? Like, what if it actually bangs? Like that shit. I really like kung fu movies. Like,
wait, did Lee Isaac Chung do that movie?
I don't know.
Wait, I don't think so.
No, hold on. No, it's the guy that did Short Term 12.
Yep.
Sorry, Destin Daniel Cretton. He did also an Asian American filmmaker. He did Short Term 12 and Just Mercy, some other good films as well. But
I really, really love kung fu movies, like especially older ones. So just to see a Marvel movie that like, oh, there's superpowers and there's these fucking things around your wrist, and you might have people that have superpower, but really it's just like a dude that's doing kung fu on people.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that shit. I cannot wait, bro.
Yeah, we know you like kung fu movies because you like the old Mortal Kombat movies, which are ass.
Which are incredible. Well, no,
those movies are ass.
That second one is ass. And the first one is ass, but the second one is ass and not fun. The first one is ass and incredibly fun.
I sent y'all that clip in the group message. That looks like shit, Teach.
That first film I watched, it came out when I was in junior high school. That shit is incredible. You have to understand how mind-blowing it was for me to see the video game that I like to play on a fucking movie screen. That was life-changing for me. I love that shit.
Looked like butt. Looked like ass. Shang-Chi's coming out. Of course, Black Widow's coming out. The Eternals is going to come out eventually sometime soon. But all that to be said, we are reviewing tomorrow, actually, Monday, we're going to drop 2 episodes this week. We are reviewing Falcon and the Winter Soldier tomorrow with Sports and Stuff, Duo Sports and Stuff podcast.
Yes, sir.
Tell them about their podcast really quickly, just so I get it right.
Yeah, so the Duo Sports and Stuff, a couple of the Baylor homies, Deontay Epps and one of his friends, they do a podcast where they just talk sports and stuff. Typically they have guests on. They'll get some really high profile guests on. They've had like Marcus Spears came on, Jay Billis came on. Like they get really good guests, and they just kind of talk. They'll like interview them about sports, and then kind of talk to them about. They'll do movie episodes and stuff like we do, and there's some really cool dudes. I've gotten to kind of talk to Deontay a lot, just being on Baylor Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier was very fun to me, but there's still some takes to get off in there, even though I liked it. So
I got some takes about this last episode.
This is gonna be so dope. I'm so excited for this episode.
Wait for it.
Got some takes about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Bucky, and
his name isn't Falcon anymore. It's Captain America.
Captain America. Yeah.
Please
well, spoiler
alert.
Yeah. So we are Birdie and Bucky, as some people have called it.
Yeah.
So
that would have been a great title.
Birdie and Bucky. We're watching that. Go finish that on Disney Plus. Shout out to the Mouse Overlords. And so that is what we'll be doing coming up. After that is anybody's guess, because we got
Gladiators, the guest.
Yeah, I guess Gladiator. Yeah.
Bro, you don't understand. I might wear a full regalia for the Gladiator. I fucking love that film.
Like kill a dude in the street with a sword.
Oh my god, that film just gets me so hyped.
Dex, what are we doing?
# support Florence Pugh and shop Apollo HOU. We keep telling y'all about the best Houston merch you'll find where. ApolloHOU.com. Use promo code OneTakePod ONETAKEPOD for 10% off your orders at Apollo HOU. They got just all kinds of fly rocket shit, Astros, Texans. And if you don't like any of those teams, just buy the Apollo merch. Like there's something there for everyone.
Buy the Be Someone merch.
One day there might be One Take Pod merch on there. Just
exactly.
One day, maybe. But y'all got to start
up in
using
the world.
promo code.
moving up in the world.
Yeah, and the way that you do that and move us up in the world, go leave us a review on iTunes, please and thank you. Go follow us on Spotify as well. We're also on Google Plus, but go do all those things. Leave a 5-star review. Leave us a written review as well. That really helps our algorithm. We really appreciate it. Also, Dex and I were on Stir the Plot this past week. We had that on our 21 Jump Street episode, but it is out when you're listening to this now. So go listen to Stir the Plot. We were on that podcast talking about Akira, a movie neither of us have seen, but it was really, really fun. So go give the homies a shout out and a listen. So thank you so much to all of us for all of you, rather, not us. I listened to most of our episodes anyway, but thank you to all of you for listening, viewing One Take Pod on Twitter, One Take Pod on YouTube, Apollo Houston on Twitch, Apollo HOU on Twitter as well. So thank you so much to watching, listening, and we're out.
Gang.
Peace.